Hi and welcome to all the racing enthusiasts around the world who are watching this pre-recorded show, which is recorded early doors on Thursday morning for the 17th of November, Friday, where racing takes place at Fairview on the poly track. So take note of the final declarations, as this is a pre-recorded show. Once again, an absolute pleasure to have the resident expert Grant Paddock on the line. Grant, firstly, how are you doing? And then tell me about the weather that side. I believe it's quite windy.
Yeah, morning Sheldon, morning punters. Yeah, weather's unbelievable. Normal Port Elizabeth. Wind has been blowing the whole week, upside down. But tomorrow, good day, 26 degrees, light headwind, nothing that's going to affect racing. So we're in for a good day's racing tomorrow on the poly, Sheldon.
Now, your suggested bet for the day, your chosen exotic is the Bipot, which commences in the very first race, where you'll be going with numbers 5 and 6 to open up the betting. And just looking at the betting in the first race, Richard Free rides the favourite number 6, who's at around 11 to 10. And then your other selection, number 5, Best Intentions, is around 3 to 1. Now, in between them, sandwiched between them, is number 7, Bellatrice at 28 to 10. And those are the top 3 in the betting, 10 to 1 and better. Let's start off with your top selection, Grant.
Sheldon, I've gone for Sijiaka, having a peak run, third run after her break, holding form, and she's probably got the filly that's got the most chance of improvement here. There is talk on the ground for Best Intentions, so you've got to take that into consideration. There was money for her first time out, and she got beaten by 5 lengths. Sijiaka comes out of that same form line, was 3 lengths in front of her, 4 lengths in front of her. There has been a little bit of talk for the 10, springing her step, the first timer from the Duncan Mackenzie yard, so wider players should have a look at that. But I've gone the 6 to beat the 5, 7 and 10.
That'll take us on to race number 2, which is over 1,200 metres, where number 1, Golden Pacific, is currently trading at a price of 13 to 10 at the time of recording. Second on the boards is number 4, Summer Odyssey, at 7 to 2, ahead of number 3, Act Naturally, who is priced up at 4 to 1. Now, looking at race number 2, number 1, Golden Pacific, has just been a different proposition on the poly track in Fairview. Absolutely amazing form, winning 3 of the last 4. And I believe you believe this is the best bet on the card.
100% Sheldon, I can't believe this filly's 13 to 10. Honestly, I thought she'd be deep in the red, 6, 7 to 10. She's definitely in front of the handicapper. She's done extremely well on the poly. Kumalo up, draw 3, everything's in her favour. Number 6, Esther, has come out. The only danger to her, I think, is Act Naturally, who won a very good race on the poly, beating Pomodoro Magic. I don't think that form line is strong enough to worry Golden Pacific, and I take Golden Pacific to win it very comfortably. 1 from 3, 4 and 2. Golden Pacific definitely a banker.
Moving on along to race number 3, which is dual fit 1330. It's over 1,400 metres. And just having a look at the third race, this will be the opening leg of the pick 6. So the punters need their bets to be on by 1330. Taking a look at the current betting as we speak, has number 4, Grey Smoke, the 3-year-old grey gelded son of Louis the King, as your 2 to 1 favourite. Number 3, Jet Bund, who was exceptionally disappointing last time, but I'm sure there must be excuses for that run, is 28 to 10. And then it's Bridgerton, number 5, at 3 to 1, with number 10, Swift Wing, 3 to 1. So, Grant, looking at the betting, it's quite a congested betting market, and you going with numbers 4, 5, and 10 in your exotic.
Yeah, 100%. Tricky little maiden plate. I've gone for the filly number 10, Swift Wing. I like that amazing colours form line. The second horse, Burn Baby Burn, came out and won last week. So the form is strong. Form line has stood up, I should say. Richard Furry, 1 draw. I can see her going out and making the pace and staying on. Grey Smoke and Bridgerton, obviously the dangers. I'm not sure of those form lines of Jet Bund. You'll know a bit more about that. But there's no talk over here for Jet Bund. Normally these Durban horses take a run or two to find their feet down in the Eastern Cape. So I'm going to 10 to beat the 4, 5 and 3. I actually like a little bit of this 10.
Now, just getting back to number 3, Jet Bund, looking at that last run, beaten 15 lengths, was drawn 13 out of 14. What did you make of that run? Were there any excuses or just one of those below par performances?
Yeah, it's probably one of those scratching your head form lines, I see it's only had one run on the poly. It was quite a long time ago where it ran 6 lengths off them, and then the rest of the time they've kept it on the grass. So we've got to take a look at how it goes on our local poly. It is a completely different surface. Even though they're both poly tracks, the Durban and the PU surfaces are completely different, and it's probably one of those things you can just a head scratcher that you've got to put your line through in new yard. Anything's possible. So I'm willing to sit back and watch it, but do follow if there is any money for it. I still think the 10 is the right horse in the race.
So number 10 for Grant Paddock, and there could be some value there as we move into the territory of race number 4. 1900 meters is the distance, so we step up to the 1900, a little bit of more of a test of stamina. 14:05 is the due off time. The betting has number 1 final edition trading at around 18 to 10. It's 9 to 2 bar final edition. Number 2 Reach for the Stars, and number 3 Wolfram at 9 to 2, and also number 4 Single File 9 to 2. So barring the favorite, you can get 9 to 2 the next 3. Now, Grant, let's touch on number 1 final edition. This Son of Dynasty seems to have quite a lot going for him with the 1 draw, and that local debut seemed quite promising.
Yeah, Sheldon, I'm with you on that one. There was a bit of talk for him, and there was a bit of money first time out. 5 to 2 to 15 to 10 was patently too short for him, and Alan did say in his post-race, pre-race comments that it is going to be too short for him. Dynasty, Jetmaster Mare, he will enjoy the 1900, no doubt. Very weak field. I think that this is the typical Alan Greep setup. They give them a sprint and then they put them straight into the trip and they come home lonely. So I'm definitely in the camp of number 1 final edition. Place money, probably Wolfram. I see he's coming back from a bit of a layoff. So he might just need it. And then Military Man is holding solid form. And so too is Tempelhof on the improve. It's just a question mark on Tempelhof getting the 1900. Definitely in the camp of the 1. I've gone 1, 3 and 5 in my buy pots. But definitely 1 is my first choice.
Just a quick comment on the 2 Kelly Mitchley runners, number 4 Single File and number 5 Military Man.
Single File, he seems to be a better horse on the turf. They took him to Cape Town, but it was his first run after a break. He's a very nice horse, but he's very, very immature, and he still needs to learn to race a little bit. He can't handle a bump in the race and he loses his action. Military Man, he's improving definitely, and he's probably a horse, an exacta kind of horse. I can see him running second in a race like this to the 1, and probably the 1's biggest danger, but Single File, Grass Mile is probably going to be his better trip.
And then number 2, Reach for the Stars. Now remember, this individual, when he started off his career in KwaZulu-Natal, they thought that he'd go through and win a few. Now if you look at his runs, he's run behind Anabar, and Anabar certainly he's come alive and he's really set the tracks alight. He's a horse with a lot of ability. Twa Cut, another horse he's run behind. He's a horse who's been disappointing, and I was just hoping perhaps that they might remove the blinkers and just start from scratch again.
100%. He's one of those horses that had solid form in Durban, and then his last 2 runs were very poor. But they went from 2400 back to 1400, so they're probably scratching their heads as well into what is the right trip for him. And I see Gavin has put him straight into the 1900. I don't think there's a problem. Give me the green light, Jetmaster Mare. What's your betting on this horse? If he shortens, you definitely add him in. But as I said, these Durban horses, they tend to take a run or two to find their feet down here.
Then stepping on the gas to race number 5, where number 4 is your current favourite at 17 to 10 in search of the hat-trick after beating Dawn of a New Era and then followed up beating Slings and Arrows. And just having a look at the merit ratings, gone up to an 87. And looking at the selections, you have number 4 along with number 1, Peace in Our World in your bar pot, Grant.
100%. I think there's another one of these horses that I think is ahead of the handicapper. Two very smart wins coming from way off the pace. I've got no issues with him jumping up in trip. He's bred to go that kind of a trip, even though being out of a Captain Almere. But definitely looks like the right horse. Richard has climbed off Bournemouth. to get onto Global Alley. So it's probably given him a very solid feel. That's why I've stuck to Global Alley. Peace in Our World won a really, really good race, beating Red William last time out, who came out and franked that form in a pinnacle plate. So, yeah, definitely Global Alley from Peace in Our World, Bournemouth, and probably Zigzag to round it off. I don't think anything, 1 and 4 should get you through most of your exotics.
Well, there you heard from Grant, and as he mentioned, very interesting. Richard Fourie has jumped off number 2 to jump onto number 4 again, and Richard Fourie at the top of his game, so probably the horse to be with. As we move along to race number 6, which is due off at 15:15. This is over 1,200 meters. And looking at the current betting, it has number 2, Grew of Ice, who is one of your selections at 3-1. Number 4 is 9-2, along with number 6, Vandalize. And in Symbol of Love, number 5 is at 5-1. Number 7, Jade's Cabernet, who is making the local debut there, is at 6-1. And in 7-1, Successful Lady. Now, here's a race where you've elected to go with numbers 2 and 4, but looking at the field, there could be any type of result in the 6, Grant.
Yeah, fillies in mare's bottom division, it is normally a nightmare. I really do like this filly, Grew of Ice. Her form lines is very good. She was beaten by 1.25 by Golden Pacific, who runs earlier on, and on that run alone, she's going to be very, very hard to beat in a race like this. It's a shallow field, and I think she's found the right race. She then came out and beat Ikrem Belabusivazani, who came out and won again. So her form lines are very good. Her last run was over a 5 on grass, and she's definitely a better filly on the poly track. I actually think she'll take a bit of beating, Grew of Ice. I've taken her to beat Kilmoney Vague, Vandalize, and Symbol of Love. But I think Grew of Ice worth a little bet.
Then moving on to the November Stakes, which is race number 7, open, non-black type, no allowances over the trip of 1,400 meters. Now, when you look at this contest, it's quite interesting because the top 2 in the betting, number 1, Kaya's Hope, who has a 50% win strike rate, however, has had the 3 runs on the poly for a second and a third. And then you got Port Louis, who also seems to enjoy the distance, and he's also had the 4 runs for 2 seconds and 2 fourths on the poly. So Kaya's Hope at around 7-10 and Port Louis at 2-1. How do you summarize race number 7?
Sheldon, probably the best exacta on the race card, there's no doubt. You're not going to get rich, but they're going to run 1-2. Big 6, you're going to have to put both. Place accumulator, you can bank either one of the 2. Kaya's Hope, the negative there is second run after rest, and as you say, hasn't won a race on the poly, but that goes for Port Louis as well. But I must tell you, the way Kaya's Hope won last time out, he really won very, very impressively. And if he's taken that run well and he's back to the old Kaya's Hope like we know, he should destroy this lot. Port Louis is holding solid form. He seems to be one of those horses that just doesn't want to go past the horse in front of him. So I'm going to go Kaya's Hope, Port Louis, and round up with Inherit the Rain and Safari Blue to finish up the quartet. But they'll run 1-2.
There we go, looking for the best exacta on the day, looking to run 1 and 2. And then going on to the 8th and final race, which is due off at 16:25. And in this contest, 1,400 meters is the distance, where number 2, On the Road Again, is your current favorite. And having a look at the betting, that is priced up a lukewarm favorite 7-2. Number 1, Clap of Thunder, is 4-1, and then number 8, Charlie Malone, is also at around 4-1. However, your value bet on the card is number 7, Georgie George, the 5-year-old son of What a Winter from the Kelly Mitchley stable. And Grant, he's around about 8-1. That last third to Paris Rex was eye-catching.
Yeah, definitely eye-catching. Solid run at the 74 level, ran on strongly, finished in 22.1. Very, very good finishing time. Only concern is he does get left, but the track, it's now summertime, the track has slowed up dramatically and horses are winning from way off the pace and finishing it off. Normally the last race of the day, they go very, very hard, and you find these horses on the outside finishing off. Definitely a money chance for me. Another horse with solid form, On the Road Again, very good run at the 78 level, beaten by Timbavati River. His previous run to Hatch Pride was a very good run. He came out and ran third in a feature. So I've actually gone for On the Road to beat Georgie George. Torero doesn't know how to run a bad race. 1,400 meters is a question mark, but he's holding solid form and he's a really, really honest horse. And then Tap of Thunder to round it off. Big Six, you probably have to add in this horse, Charlie Malone. I have not put him in my first four. His first two poly runs were not good enough. He ran a very good race on the grass last time out, and probably find out he is a better horse on the grass, but we'll see Friday. Very tricky kind of a race, but I'm going for Richard to close it on the road again from Georgie George.
Well, that's just about a wrap for the 8-race program at Fairview. We're now going to bring up your exotics and your best and value bet. So, Grant, if you wouldn't mind just running through your selections and point the punters in the right direction.
100%. Best bet for the day, race 2, number 1, Golden Pacific. My value bet, race 8, number 7, Georgie George. My suggested bet, which is the buy pot, we start in leg 1 with 5 and 6, by Banker 1, by 4, 5, 10, by 1, 3, 5, by 1 and 4, by 2 and 4 for 72 Rand.
Well, much appreciated, Grant, as is the norm. We thank you for your time and all the effort that you put in behind the scenes and also on the show. Take care and we'll chat to you soon.
Thank you very much, Sheldon, and good luck tomorrow with the punters.
Thanks very much to Grant Paddock joining us on the line for the Friday meeting out at Fairview. He's given you the selections, the best bet, the value bet, and also the buy part. And let's hope we end up where we're supposed to be, in the number 1 box.